Yo, family. Hopefully that is better. Try connect to my booster. Hopefully it starts working. If not, then I really don't know. I don't know. It's frustrating. I don't exactly know what's going on. Turn it off and on again. Yeah, I have tried that. I just reset my internet right now. It's no one even. It's literally just me. So I don't understand why normally again I LAN up my PC, I LAN up my internet connection. Hopefully it's working. If not, then please family let me know. And if it is struggling, then I don't even know. I don't know what to do then. But if everything's all well and good, working just slow. Okay, which is crazy actually because if I was to run an internet test right now, I've got 200 down, 100 up. I've got fast internet. I've got the best internet package possible. So the fact that I have these internet issues is crazy. Of course, it's better when it actually is plugged in. Hopefully the booster's doing its job therefore. Anyways, so apologies family, once again, for the technical difficulties. Audio's okay, video is just laggy. Okay, well, it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all. I apologize, family. If the audio's okay, that's at least something. It means that you guys can use me as a podcast as opposed to just looking at my face, which is not the most. As long as we have the audio, we do. Okay, cool. Okay. Apologies, family. Let's go through this once more, shall we? Let's do this all over again. And so, welcome back once more to the live stream. Apologies of the laggy video. Again, whilst I'm preparing my office, I'm on a bit of a botched setup. Truth be told, you can even see. Well, you can't see because of the laggy. But I am, covered in paint and stuff like that. I'm trying to just get my room done. But yes, welcome back once more to our live stream, and hopefully you're having a good day so far. It seems like your PC is lagging when you start. Okay, so maybe it's my PC is the issue. It could very well, my PC actually is quite hot right now. Maybe without facecam is better. Okay, I agree. Okay, so let me quickly set that up then. Is that all good? That should be fine. Okay, so no facecam in this stream. I apologize, family. Apologize for that, but just no face cam this stream, and hopefully next time we start streaming, which will be on Monday, everything should be back to normal and even better. So welcome back once more again, family, to our live stream. Hope you're doing very, very well today, and in today's stream it is going to be quite an interesting one. For today's stream. We're going to be covering some significant updates that have come out recently from the KII. I plan to make a video next week covering the Binance on Polinsky stuff and the KII and much more. It's been a hell of a lot of updates. Every time I'm away and doing something, it seems to be some big news that comes out. Maybe it's a sign. But we've got a lot to cover in today's stream, and hopefully you enjoy today's live stream for the most part. I normally would go through everybody, welcome everyone back to the chat, but I feel like I'm already quite delayed. I'm on a bit of a schedule. So the usuals, Rizzy, Tony, Brett, Didi, Andy, Sham, Cherv, and Baby Daddy, Banana, everybody, the usuals, the OGs, I am fully aware of you all the time. So thank you once more for being here, being present, and tuning into our to our normally daily live streams. So to start off with today's stream, I am actually going to cover something that for me kind of hit me maybe stronger than it should have had, which is crazy because those who know me know that I don't tend to want to engage in any form of conflict or beef or whatnot, and I wouldn't really say this is beef, but those who are aware of CG, he recently had his channel. But in his new channel, he made a video on Tau, BitTensor, the general CG video. I just wanted to highlight, again, ignore the fact that the video is going to be laggy, but in this the audio at least pay attention to, where CG basically says here that well, you know what, let's just continue right here, and you'll hear what he says. So listen very closely.
That this is a great long-term potential pick. I think it's hard to catch narratives because you don't know when they're going to happen, and then when they happen, you're like, ah, crap, shit, I'm too late. So I think...
Now, it was just that. I'll be honest, didn't watch the whole video. I personally don't find CG that informative. This is, again, quite out of pocket for me to be, for what I perceive to be, in a manner which is, again, quite combative. I don't feel like I'm normally like this, but there's something about this video that irked me. Which is, and I think it's because, again, it's what I tend to do, right? So, as you just heard in that small clip, taken, I wouldn't even say out of context, but taking that small snippet from his video there, he said, it's hard to catch narratives because you don't know when they're going to happen, and then when they do, oh no, you're too late, right? And this is something that irks me, because while he's not completely incorrect, he also is. It might be hard to catch narratives, that's not incorrect in saying that. However, if you do in-depth research, it will give you clues on what the narratives are and when they're going to happen. And those who've been following this channel, this community, those who are part of my VIP, my executive community, you are perfectly aware of these narratives, perfectly aware of them. You know what they are. If you are just a part of this live stream, the videos we make here, you're also aware of a fair amount of them. This one I've already showed numerous times in the last 2 or 3 streams. This is a panel with Citibank, with Standard Chartered, and many, many others. And in this panel, they literally start talking about the fact that institutional money should see regulatory clarity for DeFi in the next 6 to 9 months. So that is a timeline for when you're going to see more money coming in. So you do have an idea of when this narrative is going to catch on. You have this report that I've already publicized from McKinsey, which validates the need for high decentralized high-performance infrastructure and specialized AI projects for the banks. This is also my tile video I made beforehand, which covered this document here as well. And then you also have reports like this one from KPMG that highlights that many fintech investors have been cautious in 2025 so far because of all the macro uncertainty, geopolitical conflicts and whatnot. But they talk about the narrative that they are actually bullish on, which is digital assets and AI. We can see here, while many fintech investors were cautiously optimistic heading into 2025, the combination of headwinds from ongoing geopolitical tensions and rapidly evolving concerns over tariffs and trade policies saw many investors continue to hold back on making large deals, except in a few hot areas like digital assets and currencies and AI. So this, again, is for me, I guess it's not, I wouldn't say community warning, but it's something that I want people to be cautious about, be cautious on who you listen to, right? I am by no means a saint. Again, I make my fair mistakes. I'm only human. I mean, hey, this stream's been a prime example of that, with internet lagging and whatnot. Of course, it's all in the betterment of trying to make the content and everything better for you all as well. But this is what just CG said, CG talked about how it's hard to catch narratives because you don't know when they're going to happen. And while that is true, if you do in-depth research, it'll give you clues on when it's going to happen. And these 3 of my premium insight sources, and that's 3 of hundreds that I provide to my VIPs alone, gives you an insight on what these narratives are, and almost in a sense of when they're going to play out, which seems to be more so leaning towards mid-2026 next year. So it doesn't have to be just me. There are multiple people out there, but I'd like to believe I do a great job in that. But you should be cautious on who you listen to and follow people who actually know their facts. That's just what I wanted to get a point there. And you know what? Maybe the reason why it also irks me is because when Son Polinsky I made that massive, post, calling out Binance Exchange, everyone who was, of course, singing his praises and, happy that Son Polinsky did that, which is fantastic. I think he's got over, is it 2 million? How many views has that post got now? Where is it? Where's the post? I thought I had it preloaded. It's over 1 million now. Let's just go on his page and see if I can find it. In 24 hours it went 1.4 million. If I go to replies, I'll find it here, I'm sure. 1.9 million. 1.9 million in little over 2 days. That's insane. That's insane. So in a post that had so much engagement where everybody was singing, was calling him, like was singing his praises, saying like, yes, thank you for calling this out, from other researchers to, of course, the Caspa community. CG was the only one who basically just said that he's doing this for his own personal benefit and gain. And he's basically just kind of just making it seem like a smaller deal than it, in my belief, really is. And I think that maybe that's me letting that get to me, because I'm thinking, why are you having an issue on that? Where's the post actually? Because I want to give the context. I think we might have spoke about it, or no, I posted it in my Discord community. I posted it in there. In fact, can I just show it? You're seeing a bit of my snippet from my executive roundtable. Lucky people. Where I don't even know where I put it. I'm gonna try and find it real quick. But yeah, I mean, that was just something I wanted to start this stream off with, which was, again, like, I just found that a little bit irky. Just the fact, just the statement along like it's hard to find narratives. Of course, I don't disagree with the sentiment. It is hard. By all means, it can be hard. But if you do research, in-depth research, you know where to look, you know how to analyze, validate, and like do all that stuff. It's not hard at all. There aren't many people that can do that, agreeably, but it's not that hard. So I just wanted to make that post and also make it known in this stream today that just be very careful who you listen to. And that's not even me trying to directly at Crypto Galaxy. It's me trying to give that as a general community sentiment and message to everybody in this space. With this space maturing more and more and more, you really need to be knowing what's happening, as opposed to just gambling, which effectively is what we see. 99% of the space is gambling, because you're choosing either bad projects or you're literally in meme projects and you're aiming for pump and dumps. That's fine. How I've made money from it. Many have made money from it. You've made millions from it. That's fine. But if you're looking for longevity, generational wealth, and, dare I say, easier attainable wealth, you want to ideally be going for infrastructure plays and going for, again, the research that's going to help you understand where the space is going. Which is, of course, where I plug my VIP. I'll probably come back full circle later on at the end of the stream to talk about it again. But I wanted to start off the stream just there, because I thought this was an interesting talk point to start off with at the very least. But now that we've got that out of the way, welcome back, Sweet Ant. Hope you're doing very, very well. And you too, Nessie, as well. And Wing Hong, as always, welcome back. I look similar to CG. I think he's a bit whiter than me, but sure. And AW, bro, welcome back, my man. What's your take on Bitcoin for the next few days? I think we have another pullback under 100K. If you look at Bitcoin right now, $102,000. We are seeing Bitcoin float around the 100K mark, 99K mark 3 times over the past 5 days. Currently holding the zone around the 101K mark. I think it's entirely possible. It just wholeheartedly depends on the macro sentiment right now, which we're going to get to actually. So if we look in some updates, we've still got this ongoing government shutdown, which has added to this uncertainty and FUD. Also the negative price action as well. The longest ever in history now, 38 days and counting. Apparently Republicans have just rejected Democrats' offer to reopen the government in exchange for the 1-year Obamacare subsidiary extension. So it looks like, again, it's going to continue ongoing until he's come to some form of conclusion. But it's kind of good and bad. It's bad due to all the negative FUD uncertainty that's being driven from the shutdown. But at the same time, the longer it goes on, kind of the worse the situation gets, which means the Fed have to act more dovish to preserve what is remaining of the US economy. Powell apparently says now job creation is close to 0 due to AI, which actually is also something important. When CG in this video talks about how narratives are hard or nearly impossible to attain or whatever, if you look at the trending assets right now on CMC, ICP, Filecoin, Zcash, NEAR, FET, Stark Dash, a lot of these are now either AI protocols or privacy tokens. interestingly. So you can see also the narrative that's currently being played out right now, privacy tokens and AI, which I'm not surprised about at all. Again, as you're part of the VIP community, you would have heard, at least, especially in the AI part, you would have heard me talk about AI months and months and months back as a big narrative coming forward. I mean, that's quite evident either way. If you do even surface level research, you see AI is going to significantly take over. That's not surprising at all. Of course, ICP had the big blow off from their new upgrade they had earlier this week. Forgetting the name of it again, I apologize. I just don't honestly care that much for ICP. I'm sure that the video is skipping, Johnny. I apologize for that. As long as the audio's okay, then it's that's something at least. I apologize for the bad video. I think it's because my PC might be a bit hot right now. So I need to probably. I'm also going to be going away at the end of the month. Actually, I need to probably get this repaired so I get so it doesn't have the overheating issues. Or at least hopefully where I'm at. Actually, where I'm going to be going is up north, so it's going to be a hell of a lot colder, and it's going to be more close to winter. So hopefully it'll be a cool room to keep the PC cooler as well. But the audio's fine, then that is at least something I could be happy about. Baby Daddy says, what irks you is how lame he is. I've never seen a dog try so hard to be cool. I get secondhand embarrassment from watching him. I feel like I lost cool points from watching that little snippet. CG is not about the tech. He's about scamming his community. He knows very little about Caspa. Of course, I'm going to state just for my own prevalence, it's, speculation. Not all of that is. There's been proof of him scamming in regards to Kurt on base. And in regards to about Caspa as well, I mean, I do vividly remember the clip about him not knowing what Crescendo update, which is crazy considering that was the biggest update for Caspa to date, the Crescendo 10 upgrade. He didn't know what that was. So, I mean, yeah, I don't disagree. And actually, funny enough, if you were to watch that Tao video, he speaks about an upgrade that could potentially get Tao to become like this layer 1 ecosystem that could basically allow the creation of a meme market on there. So once more, again, it's, that's where he's pivoted to, and he's made money from it. So, again, I don't want to necessarily push the guy down too much because he's done great. He's very successful. Maybe not in the best way, or the most respectable way. But again, what does it matter? Human greed's a thing, right? You've got to be careful who you listen to and what you invest into. But he's made a crap ton of money from memes. So no one knows. I don't know how much money he actually has. I'm sure you can somehow do some reverse engineering to figure it out. If you look at his community on WAP and see how many people have joined his community, you can probably gauge how many people sign up to it and therefore how much money he's making from it. But that's for you to do that research. But who knows? Honestly, who actually knows how much he's making? I'd assume he's making a fair amount, and that's fair play to him. But yeah, I think you're probably right, Baby Daddy. I think that's what really did irk me, is the fact that there are so many people in this space that are seemingly they're doing well, they're successful, and they're making their gains. They're talking about many other projects that are very small, high risk, high reward potentials. And I don't even mind about that. I honestly don't mind about that. I do find it frustrating hearing comments like that, though, because for me that is not the whole truth of the matter. It's not incorrect. It's not incorrect at all, but it's not like, oh, it's impossible, which it is really not. If you do in-depth research, you know where to find it. But we'll come back full circle to that later on, those who are tuning in a little bit later anyway. So, CG, you say, hit the like, guys, so we can support the real ones, QC, the real cat ambassador. I mean, I appreciate you very much. And yeah, I apologize for the botchy stream today. It's because I've got, again, making my room, my guest room into a proper workable office, getting a whole paint job, getting you're going to see quite a significant upgrade. You're going to see me go back into the room on Monday, and then from Monday it'll be quite barren, and then you'll see it hopefully quite quickly start sprucing up a bit. You'll see me putting a sofa in there, rugs in there, stuff on the wall eventually as well, shelving units, like actually making it like a pretty unique office. I'm just gonna try and make it look really cool, basically, because I bought something I've been wanting to do for a while, and now that I have face cam, I was like, okay, that's the incentive, that's the need to do it now. I've got the money, I need to do it now. The reason why Archetype, John, and now CG is that they can manipulate Caspa like they can with 5 million MC bad shitcoins. I mean, yeah, a lot of those so-called content creators have made significant gains from micro caps, which is, again, I've done it myself. I'm not trying to put down the way people have made money in regards to what they invested into. The allegations, and while in some cases even proof that they have been scamming their community, that is something else entirely. That, of course, no one should be happy about. But anyways, let's get into the actual content. Let's go into the content right now before we come back full circle. So to start off with, we have this post here. DRI Desert Energy KRI doing some big work right now. So it's happening right now. 15th DII Desert Energy Leadership Summit right now, which is pretty cool. We can see some images here where you can see literally Caspa's being spoke about. Rory O'Neil, shout out to the man. I'll go slowly because I imagine it's probably still panels of this. But you can see again they're talking about Kaspa, DRI Desert Energy, and I'm going to play a 3-minute snippet from the Blockchain Banter AMA. Not the whole thing, but a snippet from it, which honestly, it's huge news and direct confirmation from Rory O'Neil. Again, take it with a grain of salt if you want to believe him or not, but I choose to believe him. Direct confirmation that with the numerous CEOs, CFOs, institutional leaders, that were attending, they confirmed they want to know where to buy Caspa. I wish I was joking. He said it word for word there. So Paul Van Son here says on Caspa's 4th birthday, that's yesterday, so I did miss the birthday, which is just terrible of me, honestly, but happy belated birthday to the Caspa family. Rory O'Neil presented KRI and Caspa Virtues to the DI Desert Energy Industry Network, over 120 international companies with a footprint in the MENA region. The first seeds have thus been planted in the clean energy world. And you can see, there's no doubt that sound applications for Caspa will be adopted as the global energy industry is subject to a major transition due to technical innovation. So Paul Van Son is adamant that Caspa is going to take over. And if you listen to Rory O'Neil, I'm also adamant as well. You can see images here in regards to Paul Van Son again talking there. Really cool stuff. Some huge names all in attendance right now. So let's get into this post first before we get into that. This post here, no, not that one. Where is it here? Yes, this is the snip here. Rory O'Neil from KRI gave some great updates on what their plans are to utilize Caspa in the future. In the Wolfie Bar's AMA. Oh no, it wasn't even Blockchain Banter. It was Wolfie's Bar AMA on Friday. That's even crazier. And I'm, actually a Wolfie holder, so that's, pretty cool. Wolfie's making those sort of connections, so, fantastic there. But I'm going to play the first. I'm going to be a bit greedy. It's still in the concept of spreading information, so, but I'm going to be a bit greedy and share 3 minutes. But I'm not going to share the whole 17 minutes. That's liberties taken there. I'll share the first 3 minutes where you hear so much information alone. So again, family, by all means, please listen very carefully.
It's Rory here from KI, and I saw the post about an hour ago and was just pondering it. It's quite late here in Dubai. We had a very successful day where we spent a lot of time talking about Caspa with very serious people. We're talking about CFOs of major banks and chairman of banks, CEOs of companies you will all have heard of, and there's a lot of excitement about Caspa because we're presenting it in a completely different way to everything else. And what I'd just like to do is just remind everybody why KII chose Caspa and why it matters and why we support Jonathan's reminder that crypto's purpose is freedom grounded in proof. And I suppose at KI we extend that principle into the energy economy. So we chose Caspa very carefully. We waited 10 years before we found something that actually met all the criteria that we wanted and needed. And we chose Caspa because it operates like a generational utility layer. It is literally a brand new utility layer. It's open, it's neutral, it's auditable, it's fast enough to underpin real markets. And compared to the alternatives, after speaking to about 30 or 40 people today, just me personally, and the rest of our group spoke to probably just about as many people. It's unbelievable how Caspa has resonated with business leaders in a way that we haven't seen before. Because it delivers what they need in terms of reliability, transparency, and performance without sacrificing any first principles. And it really, the whole total decentralization, fair launch, all of those those principles and superlatives, it resonates very, very, very strongly with them. And one of the biggest questions we had is of those 30 people, almost all of them asked, where do we buy Kaspa? Where do we go to get it?
Even then, I feel like I was taking a bit of liberties there. Shout out to Wolfie, shout out to Crypto Cut Pumps, Blockchain Banter, all those people who are doing fantastic work. And of course, the KRI as well, who are putting on a show for institutional adoption coming to Caspa, where you heard they are talking to 120 people, give or take, industry leaders who, all of them they spoke to were asking where can they get Caspa? Because they see this as being, the universe believes in encryption. It is easier to encrypt information than decrypt it. The laws of physics are on the side of the cipher, and the laws of man are on the side of the spy. The universe does not like secrets, but it likes encryption even less. The force of authority is derived from violence, but with cryptography, we can build systems where the violence is impotent, because no amount of violence can ever solve a math problem. And Caspa operates like a generational utility layer. I don't see anything vaguely like it coming out for the next 50 years. That again is in this AMA thing. I didn't show the whole of it again, but of course that is speculative. We have no idea, of course. But considering there's something as innovative as Caspa, you might see people try to replicate. You've seen people trying to replicate Caspa. None one's been able to do it yet. But again, I'm not saying it's improbable for something else to come out later on, but right now there is nothing close, fundamentally speaking, to Caspa. Crypto wasn't born for casinos, but freedom. It was built for freedom and integrity. That is something that, again, I'm going to make a video myself on this later on this week. But this for me was a huge, huge deal, hearing Rory O'Neil and just talking on Caspa, hearing how these institutions want to know where to buy Caspa, and then, of course, them telling them, you got to go to Kraken. We like Kraken, Kraken's good. And that for me is a prime example as to why exchanges have they've blundered Caspa. Binance, they've blundered this. Kraken listing of Caspa got 1.3 million views, 1.4 million views. The biggest post we've ever had in history when they announced we are now finally going to list Caspa. They did it free of charge as well. So Belinsky's post got 1.4 million views in just 24 hours. And it's now, if you saw, at 1.9. Insane stuff. And the fact that you're now hearing from the KRI that they've got multiple industry leaders who want to know where to buy Caspa, in the industry's perspective, wanting to make money, it seemed illogical why you wouldn't want to list a product that's got so much institutional demand and so much technological promise. Again, I don't know what's going on in the minds of the Binance exchange. They want to make money in the short term, I guess. They don't seem to have a long-term vision in that regard. Hence why Son Polinsky called them out. And then you've got posts like this as well, just as building on that, which was also kind of funny. This individual has been popping off Twitter. Like she's jumped from I think 20,000 followers recently. The one of the so-called, I think one of the technical support people, customer support operators for Nexi, and she made a post basically just saying we didn't charge any listens for Caspa. And the moment she made that post, of course we clapped back and it got deleted, because of course when you do even a little bit of research, you will understand and know that out of all the exchanges in this space, I think the only one, maybe not the only one of the few that Caspa's paid for a listing was Nexi. I think it was Nexi and KuCoin. Or I think maybe it was KuCoin approached and we said no, go away. But can't really follow the stream anymore, Jay. It's buffering for me more off than on. I'm very, very sorry, but yeah, I apologize. It's just not been ideal. I wish there's something I could do to fix it. It doesn't seem like it is right now. I will make a video hopefully on Monday, and again streams will be back on Monday properly. So if audio's okay, I'll do another bit of audio for the next like 10 minutes or so. I'll cut the stream a bit earlier. I apologize again for this. But again, because I've been so busy painting, I've not even had time to set up some form of other setup with my normal monitor, so it's a bit better. But yeah, I mean, either way, she's, Mexi, this individual here saying how, we didn't pay for a listing, which is incorrect. And then she made a post here about how they were one of the first to support Caspa, which is true, but it's because we paid for it. So we gotta support them, but you pay for it. And even then, they manipulate Caspa as well, which is also the shortcoming of paying for it as well. Can you stream this from those streaming chat sites? And those are really fast. Should be fine. Crypto is working fine for him. Okay, that's good to hear. Brett's having problems with audios. Okay, so some people are fine, some aren't. Interesting. I mean, I would be honest, it's probably on. I can't hear it at all. Oh, so it might be on your side, Brett. I mean, turn up the volume. Okay, well, I'm gonna continue on going just for a bit. Again, I sincerely apologize for the setup. I promise you, it shouldn't happen much anymore in the near future. Should be better than before. But yes, that was effectively the point of going through Rory O'Neil's some of his very, very big talking points here in regards to Caspa, their belief in it. They were looking for 10 years for a solution, and Caspa is the best thing that they have seen that will fit all the goals they wanted to fit. With reprogs, with Dagnite, it's going to be even better than they envisioned, no doubt about it. You even have this audio here as well, because you talk about here in regards as well about the idea of privacy, or even then, to cycle back in regards to seeing the current meta seems to be around AI and privacy tokens. Well, Tom Polinsky said a little while back how the cost of privacy on layer ones is just too high, which also the reason why, in regards to assets like Zcash or ZEC that's going parabolic as of late, Dash also doing very, very well, and the other ones, for me, it's great for the time being. Even Monero is coming up again, which is crazy because that thing fell off like ridiculously. Great for the time being, but they are too expensive. So this is of course where Caspa can come in and take its place as well. So again, let's closer to this segment here for Tom Polinsky.
I do think from an adoption perspective, you don't want to implement privacy natively on layer one. It has its appeal, but the price you're paying it will be much harder to be listed and be used by ordinary people. Of course, it has the Zcash has its appeal. I'm sure Zuko sees it as completely worth it, the privacy versus the difficulty in being listed and being integrated into the normie user base. But it's a choice that I think Caspa couldn't afford in terms of adoption and integration. But once we implement the ZKP opcode, people would be able to choose to use it. It won't be the default address, if I recall correctly. Even in Zcash, the shielded transactions weren't default, but it will still have its merits. I do.
So in there, you can hear when Caspa goes through its future upgrades, ZK op, those sort of developments coming out in the future, it will take a step towards making assets like Zcash, these privacy tokens, also obsolete because they're just too expensive. Of course, if you've got some insurmountable amount of capital, you're not worried about those limitations, that's fine, but that does significantly make it harder for regular people to use it. That's also the reason why Caspa has so much potential going forward, because Caspa has been made for people. Most of these crypto projects have been made exclusively for institutional use. XRP and Ripple's business model is meant to be targeted at institutions. Zcash seems to be very similar as well. Great. But then Caspa has the ability to target retail, which yes is a smaller market cap, but at the same time, if you could target retail, and retail's going to want to use Caspa, institutions are going to want to go where the retail's going as well, because if all their money is going into that, why do they want to go elsewhere? And of course, then everything can settle on Caspa in the future as well, with the VPROC, with the Dagnite, with sovereignty. To answer your question, when talking about some definition of VPROCs, it basically gives layer 2s, decentralized applications and decentralized exchanges, anything built on Caspa layer 1 with VPROCs implemented, it lets all these building on Caspa, all these entities, these apps, these exchanges, these layer 2s, it lets all of them still talk to each other and interoperate with each other, but it's also self-sovereign, which means, to give an example, let's just say the XRP ledger comes on Caspa in the future. Let's just say it does, right? And you've got Igra Labs and Casplex and many others that are on the Caspa layer 1 in the future. Let's just say, for example, XRP ledger, Ripple, want to do something a little bit dangerous, bad actor vibes, not to be trusted, right? And they start trying to take advantage of people on the layer 1. Because of VPROCs and because of everything being interoperable but still truly self-sovereign, XRP ledger, Ripple, they could do whatever they want. It would not impact the Caspa layer 1 and the other layer 2s and dApps around it at all. That's what VPROCs, that's the concept of VPROCs. To my understanding, right now, which is still limited, we're going to hear a lot more from people like Michael Sutton in these incoming AMAs and meetups, I believe, in the coming weeks or whatnot. But that's the idea of VPROC, basically letting multiple things to build on Caspa. Of course, the element of smart contracts still got to come aboard as well, but letting people build on Caspa while having the protection from external bad actors, or even on the platform bad actors as well. That's the benefit of VPROC, which is huge. It's a very big deal. The others coming to Caspa is going to be game changing. I can feel my PC is so hot. Okay, I have to think of a fix for that next time. Oh, that's going to be a challenge. I love a challenge. When VPROC's busy? Great question. The timeline that we've been given, which is purely just like a template timeline, is in the next 9 months. So that would probably put it at around, well, that was 9 months about last month. That's probably aiming to be around June, July 2026. But that again we're still in the process of doing a yellow paper right now. So it's the timeline. I'm not so sure that's going to be when it releases, but if it does, fantastic. Of course, that'd be fantastic. But yes, so to come into some other sources here, I'm going to also play this audio from Jerome Powell, which is also in the title of the stream today. I'll be posting all the sources, by the way, in my free Discord community. So at the very least, I know the audio is okay, but the stream quality is terrible today, and I apologize for that. If you want to have access to all the information that we talk about in these streams, check out the free Discord community. Links are down below in the description, and you'll see everything in there. In either the news channel, the Caspa channel, or the general channel, I'll be posting the information in there in regards to the KRI and what they're doing, in regards to the post I made in response to CG, and in my belief, his ignorance to the fact of that, you can do in-depth research to find in-depth analysis about what's being looked into, what the narratives are going to be. And then even Jerome Powell here, where he basically talks and effectively confirms that we're going to be starting to print money. He's saying they're going to do it very, very slowly, which is probably true and fair, but they're going to NQT on December 1st, but they are going to start adding reserves back into the economy, printing money. It's effectively the start of QE. You've been seeing, I made a post actually on my Twitter account. They have already started some elements of stealth QE apparently. Right here, stealth quantitative easing. So yeah, it's not surprising to hear that at all. So listen very closely here. I'm going to probably play it and then just go onto the market chart or onto my YouTube so you don't see a laggy screen. So listen very closely.
So you're right. The place we'll be on December 1 is that the size of the balance sheet is frozen. And as mortgage-backed securities mature, we'll reinvest those in treasury bills, which will foster both a more treasury balance sheet and also a shorter duration. So that's what, in the meantime, if you freeze the size of the balance sheet, the non-reserve liabilities, currency, for example, they're going to continue to grow organically. And because the size of the balance sheet is frozen, you have further shrinkage in reserves. And reserves is the thing that we're managing that has to be ample. So that'll happen for a time, but not a tremendously long time. We don't know exactly how long. But at a certain point, you'll want to start reserves to start gradually growing to keep up with the size of the banking system and the size of the economy. So we'll be adding reserves at a certain point, and that's the last point. Even then, we didn't make decisions about this today, but we did talk today